You can't drain the hydrant! It's reckless!
It's for the neighborhood's cohesion.
It all began with a sharp, insistent smack that cut through the quiet of my new home like a judge's gavel. I was in the middle of a phone call with my mother, pacing the empty expanse of my living room in this freshly bought suburban haven. The walls were still bare, echoing my assurances that moving out here wasn't some midlife crisis gone wrong. "No, Mom, it's perfect," I insisted, my voice bouncing off the drywall. "The air's fresh, I've got a real yard now, and the mortgage isn't choking me. It's the American dream, straight out of those old commercials." Her reply was tinny through the speaker. "But it's so isolated, Jonathan. What if you need help? What if you crave a decent bagel? You won't find one in those cookie-cutter neighborhoods. I'm a hydrogeologist, Mom, not a New York deli owner. My bagel cravings are under control." I wandered to the picture window, overlooking my modest plot of emerald lawn. Out back, two burly contractors were battling a power saw, building my dream deck. That's when the sound hit again. Thwack. "What was that?" Mom asked. "Sounds like a complaint being filed," I muttered, peering out. There, at the edge of my property, stood a woman in her late 50s, clad in a starched beige pantsuit that screamed authority. Her blonde hair was an unyielding fortress against the humid Virginia afternoon. In her hand, a clipboard tapped rhythmically against a cedar post, each strike a verdict. "Mom, gotta run. Looks like the neighborhood watchdog just showed up." I hung up and stepped onto the patio, the scent of fresh cut wood mingling with the heavy summer air. The contractor's a towering silent type, and his wiry sidekick had paused, eyeing her warily. "Can I help you?" I asked, aiming for friendly but firm. She turned with parade-ground precision, her pale blue eyes appraising me from my scuffed boots to my rumpled shirt. No smile. "Are you the property owner?" "That's me. Jonathan Hayes, just settled in." I extended a hand. She ignored it, as if it carried germs. "Susan Fletcher, president of Willow Ridge Homeowners Association." She nodded toward the white truck on the street. "Your contractors?" "Yes." I glanced at Huge Hank, the giant, and Thin Tim, who was now studying a nail like it held life secrets. Their truck is parked 3.5 inches too far from the curb, a clear breach of Bylaw 117C on commercial vehicle alignment during construction. I stared, then measured with my eyes. She must have a ruler in that suit. "Right, 3.5 inches. I'll have them adjust it." She nodded curtly, but her eyes shifted to the stack of warm-toned cedar planks. "This is graver. Thwack on the wood. The stain autumn cedar, I assume?" Impressed despite myself. "Yes, how'd you know?" "It's the most frequent non-compliant choice by newcomers who ignore our architectural harmony guidelines." She recited like gospel. "Permissible shades are soft beige, mild gray, and murmuring pebble." My mind reeled. Murmuring pebble? But I got county permits, plans, materials, all approved. She let out a humorless chuckle. "County approval is advisory. HOA rules are absolute." She handed me a pink violation slip, $150 for parking, $500 for the stain, plus $1.50 daily until fixed. Fixed? Repaint in mild gray. Precisely. We prioritize visual cohesion to maintain property values. With a final disdainful glance at my deck, she marched off to her flawless yard 2 doors down. I stood there, slip in hand, the cedar's aroma now mocking me. Huge Hank lumbered over. "Move the truck," Thin Tim squeaked. "Yeah," I said, calm turning to steel. "Move it." But this dream was souring fast, painted in beige. Fuming, I crossed to the neighboring rancher, its flower beds bursting with vibrant impatience. An older man in a faded base tournament tee and shorts was watering them meticulously. He looked up with a crinkled smile. "New guy?" "I'm Tom." "Jonathan." I waved the slip. "Just got the welcome wagon." Tom's smile faded to a sigh weighted by years. "Ah, you've been Fletchered." He turned off the hose. "Susan Fletcher, our HOA queen." Classic opener. He invited me to his porch, kicking open a cooler. "Beer." "It's morning." He popped 2 anyway. "You'll need it." Over cold brews, Tom unfolded Susan's reign like a ghost story. 20 years here, seen presidents come and grass too tall, bins out late. But Susan? She's a master of torment. He counted on fingers. First, The 2019 mailbox mandatory owns replaced with a $400 model from her sister's firm. Smashed my brick, won myself. Second, the 2021 Bell Banwind chimes as noise pollution. Her husband snipped them street-wide. Third, last year's holiday garland edict only approved wreaths, pricey and drab. People comply for peace, Tom said. She thrives on fights, board packed with yes men. He had the corner hydrant. Lately, she's fixated on that notes galore. Heaven help us. I gripped my beer, defiance sparking. I'm not repainting. Tom toasted. She'll devour you, but good luck. Days passed in standoff. My deck progressed in defiant autumn cedar. My email appeal got a curt reply. Fines accruing. Then, mid-call on Phoenix pipes, I spotted Susan at the hydrant bold red, sturdy with a teen landscaper and massive wrench. Hose to storm drain, she commanded. Water gushed out, draining it dry. What the hell? I burst out, dropping the call, barefoot sprinting. You're dumping city water. Susan turned serenely. Beautification procedure. This garish red offends our palate decommissioned for a tasteful stone cover. It's for fires. Clashes with impatience? I yelled. She nodded. Committee-approved granite blend. The hydrant gurgled empty. This wasn't petty, it was reckless. Back home, I dove into schematics closed-loop system. One drain crippled the whole neighborhood's fire protection. Rage hardened. I called Emily Thompson, old colleague now at the Water Authority. Jonathan, not gloating on that model. No, witnessing idiocy. I explained. Emily laughed, then sobered. Tampering some misdemeanor. Felony if endangering. Official route, weeks. Unofficial, hypothetically, open the main valve 3 to 4 minutes repressurizes at 65 psi. Smile forming. Thanks, hypothetically. Susan escalated. Cease and desist on my contractors 4 sonic discord and dust. Huge Hank and Thin Tim packed up grimly. Can't risk blacklist, Tim said. But Huge Hank's eyes blazed. She insulted my work. Join me, I urged. She's endangering lives. Hank nodded. When Tom texted scanner readiness. Team set. Recon at dusk. Pinpoint valve under iron plate by entrance. Susan spotted us, called cops. Officers Lopez, young, by book, and Harlan, veteran, mustached, arrived. I played expert, inspecting depressurized hydrant safety hazard. Harlan winked. Fluid situation. They left. Susan fumed. Flyer announced hydrant removal ceremony next morning. Tonight or bust. At 4 a.m., we struck. Hank's wrench, Tim's radios, Tom's overwatch. Crowbar screeched opening plate panic, but silence held. Hank heaved valve open. Water roared through pipes. Headlights newspaper delivery slammed shut. Tested hydrant. Full. Victory. Morning. Susan's crowd sipped weak punch. Landscaper kid wrenched wrong nut geyser erupted, drenching Susan, dissolving her clipboard. Chaos glorious. Tom howled laughing. Cops. Fire Marshal Emily arrived. Emily listed fines. $5,000 for draining, more for waste. Marshal Donovan. Reckless endangerment felony potential. Susan stammered aesthetics, crushed by law. Month later, hydrants red, my deck exempt, Susan sold out. HOA reformed under mild stan. Peace on my deck with Tom, beers clinking. To Jonathan, hydrant hero. Laughter. Detour into vigilantism, but worth it. What do you think, folks? Share in the comments. Would you fight such injustice or comply for peace? Voice your stance on violence and unfairness in everyday life. You'd love to hear your views.